Hey there, risk takers! Welcome to Yummy Wanderlust, where every recipe takes you on a culinary adventure. Today's recipe is taking us to Italy! We're gonna make an Italian buttercream that I'm gonna use on a cake I'm decorating later, so let's jump in. Here's the hardware that you're gonna need: a spatula, a candy thermometer, a good pot, and a stand mixer with a whisk and paddle attachment. Alright, so here's our ingredients. We're gonna use 6 sticks of very soft butter, half a cup of shortening, 7 egg whites. We'll need some vanilla, 2 cups of sugar, and 1 cup of water. Alright, let's get started on our sugar syrup. We have our pot on the stove with the temperature on medium. We're gonna pour our 2 cups of sugar in, and then we're going to moisten that with our water, our 1 cup of water. Now we can give a quick stir just to make sure everything gets mixed in. Now this is something we're gonna wanna watch closely. Our goal here is to get the sugar syrup to around 230 to 235 degrees. When we get there, we're gonna wanna put our egg whites into the mixer. And by the time this sugar syrup reaches 240 degrees Fahrenheit, we'll be able to mix it into our egg whites. Okay, our sugar syrup has come to a boil. We're gonna check the temperature. We're still in the low 200s. We're trying to get up to about the 230s because we're trying to get up to 240. That's our goal. 240, 245, somewhere in that range would be perfect. But we're still in the low 2s, 217. So we're gonna let that go and resist the urge to do any stirring because we don't wanna mess up the syrup that is being created. We're waiting. Trying to wait for that syrup is all about patience. You really gotta be patient. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Just waiting for that sugar syrup. Takes a long time. Don't rush it. We're at 223 degrees, not there yet. All right, so our sugar syrup has reached 230 degrees, so we're gonna get started on our egg whites. We're gonna pour them into our standing mixer, which we've made sure is very, very clean and devoid of fats because we want to make sure there's no fats while we're whipping up these egg whites. And we're going to turn this on to a medium-high speed to get the air started to circulate into our egg whites. Okay, so our sugar syrup is getting very close over here. You can hear the mixer in the background because it's going and getting our egg whites nice and whipped while we're waiting for this sugar syrup to reach 240 degrees Fahrenheit. Once it reaches that temperature, we're gonna pour it into this Pyrex. We're at 237 right now and climbing, so as soon as we hit 240, we're gonna get that over to the Pyrex. All right, we've hit 240. Okay, so you can see our egg whites are nice and full, so it's ready to take our sugar syrup, which we're gonna pour in very, very, very slowly. And the goal here is to try to get the sugar syrup to pour in between the whisk and the side of the bowl. You don't want it to run down the side and get stuck there, and you don't want it to splash off of the whisk. So we're gonna do this very, very slowly, and that's okay because the slower we go, the better this is gonna come out. Let's go. other thing this is doing is it's cooking our egg whites as we're pouring it in. So with anyone with concerns about salmonella or anything like that, which is not common in egg whites, this process of pouring 240-degree sugar syrup into those egg whites is gonna cook them up. Now we're gonna let this keep going and just keep mixing, and the biggest thing we wanna do here is get these nice and glossy and full, but we wanna make sure all of the heat in the bowl is gone before we move on to our next step. Now the bowl is still warm, so it is not ready for us to start adding in our butter and our shortening yet, but I like to every once in a while just lift up the whisk and scrape down the sides, make sure nothing is getting stuck and not getting well incorporated. Sometimes you can get sugar get stuck on the bottom of the bowl. So I'm just gonna give it a quick scrape down on the sides, making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. And then we're gonna just let this keep going. We'll let the machine get back to doing its thing. So our meringue has been whipping for about 10 minutes now. I still feel a little bit of warmth on the bowl, and something I found that I like to do is I like to pop this in the freezer just to get that residual warmth off the metal. It really helps when we start to incorporate our butter, but I will show you, this is fully ready. I can do the over my head test. Nothing falls out. I know, pretty scary. But let's pop this in the freezer for a few minutes, get the heat off the bowl, and then we'll pop it right back on the mixer and start adding in our butter. So exciting! Okay, our bowl is out of the freezer. All that heat is off of the bowl, so we're ready to start adding in our butter and our shortening. Now we're gonna do this very slowly, so you'll see just one drop going in at a time, about a spoonful at a time, and then we're gonna incorporate it. We're not gonna add more until the last bit was incorporated. So this is a long process as well, but I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so now all of our butter is incorporated. The bowl is now empty. So we are going to now put in our shortening, which is just a half a cup, and that's the last step we're gonna do here. So I'm gonna do a quick wipe down on the bowl on the sides with my spatula, just making sure everything's getting incorporated. And just like the butter, we're gonna add the shortening in little dollops, a little at a time. All right, here we go. All right, now that all of our fats are incorporated, I'm gonna knock all of our extra frosting, here, as much as I can, off the whisk. And what I like to do now is I'm gonna do another scrape down on the sides of the bowl, and then we're gonna put on the paddle attachment. And what this does is it really smooths out your frosting, because now we've got all our butter and air incorporated, and now we want to smooth it out and make a nice, luxurious frosting for us to enjoy. So, all right, our scrape down. Making sure everything, oh, it's so smooth and creamy already. Wonderful. And if you do chill your frosting before you use it, all you gotta do is pop it back on the stand mixer with the paddle attachment and whip it back up to get it, once it's at room temperature, to get it back to this nice smooth consistency and what you'd want to put on your cake. Got it locked on there. All right, we're gonna Okay, we've used the paddle attachment to smooth out the icing, and now we're gonna add in our flavoring. We're gonna do some vanilla extract, and I like vanilla, so I'm gonna use a lot. 1, 2, a little extra. And then we're gonna keep mixing and incorporate that in. Okay, so here's our finished product. Here's our Italian buttercream. I've actually already taken a little bit out of this bowl, but it's very spreadable. It holds up well. Look, I can take it out of the bowl, hold it above. It's a great icing for decorating. It's so shiny and smooth and on your tongue like silk. So if you get a chance to make Italian meringue buttercream, go for it. Don't be scared. Just remember, 240 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what you need to get your sugar syrup to. All right, guys, I hope you've been on a culinary adventure.